issue, and they have narrowed down on all the issues that they needed to deal with, and that all is being handled.
However much we've arrested them, we also make sure that they do their exams also as the legal system takes its place. But we want to assure everybody that is unfortunate that we are losing life in our schools.
Meanwhile, Education CS Julius Migos also took a jab at those engaging in malpractices, vowing to go hard on exam centers found engaging in malpractices. This comes as 13 people, including 2 invigilators in Nyamina Secondary, were arrested for photocopying answers for candidates for mathematics paper 2.
The Instagram team that was going on doing all sorts of things, they were arrested yesterday. They are going to be arraigned today. And we've asked the judiciary to assist us to ensure that prosecution is swift and fast so that people face the music. In the event that we find those private centers are open to, manipulation or malpractice, one of the things that we'll do is recommend that they be closed going forward, because there is no point to have a little team or a small group of people giving a bad name to the whole country, to the whole examination that we are doing.
Elsewhere, Education PS Belio Kipsang has also assured parents of the government's efforts to ensure grade 9 classrooms are in place before next year. Kipsang, while overseeing the launch of new JSS classrooms in Kiambu County, says the classroom shortage will be sorted, with 11,000 classrooms already confirmed to have been constructed. Melia Kisienya, K24 TV.
You will pay more for online food delivery and digital taxis following the government's pronouncement of its intent to broaden the tax base in the food and digital service platforms. As Bentura Kwamboka now tells us, all this is aimed at improving the government's fiscal framework.
In response to the current economic landscape and the need for sustainable public finance after the withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2024, the National Treasury is proposing significant amendment that seeks to address growing fiscal deficit to ensure efficient revenue collection. And as the Treasury seeks to broaden its tax base through Tax Laws Amendment Bill 2024 and the Tax Procedure Amendment Bill 2024, the government is proposing collecting more revenue from taxing digital platforms and taxation of interest income accruing from infrastructure bonds.
Watu ambao wanafanya biashara kupitia online digital marketing na pia wako na digital presence kubwa zaidi kama multinationals wanalipa 15% na 6% mtawalia kama kodi.
Government spokesperson Isaac Maura now says they aim to expand the digital tax base on ride-hailing and food delivery services to ensure digital service providers fairly contribute to the economy, a move that is expected to hike the cost of food and travel expenses.
When it comes to digital economic growth, digital marketplace expansion, the proposed laws seek to expand the digital tax base, including services like ride-hailing, food delivery, freelance, and professional services under the definition of a digital marketplace. This move is essential in ensuring that digital service providers fairly contribute to the economy.
Further, more taxes will be levied on income derived from services provided by non-resident entities operating in Kenya's digital marketplace.
Also, the significant economic presence tax, for foreigners, a tax will be levied on income derived from services provided by non-resident entities operating in Kenya's digital marketplace. This ensures that foreign digital businesses contribute at fair rates and aligns Kenya's tax system with global best practices.
Bentura Kwamboka for K24 TV, Nairobi.
Ousted Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has been dealt his last and final blow after being kicked out as the ruling party's deputy party leader. This follows a resolution by the party's National Executive Council that designated DP Kithure Kindiki as the new deputy party leader, as Ian Kitanyi now reports.
I, Kithure Kindiki.
Just 10 days after assuming the office of the deputy president, taking over from impeached DP Rigathi Gachagua, Professor Kithure Kindiki has yet again taken over Gachagua's second office at the Hustler Plaza. This follows the resolution of the party's National Executive Council that deemed Gachagua as unable to perform the duties of the deputy party leader after being impeached.
The National Executive Committee now resolves to designate His Excellency Professor Kithure Kindiki, EGH, as the deputy party leader. Speaking after formally taking over reins of power as the party's second most powerful member, DP Kithure Kindiki was quick to note that he was coming in at a time when the country was at crossroads, however, vowing to prioritize not only unity within the party but also the country at large.
I am taking over this role in a very, very defining moment in the life of our nation. At a time when the country is engaged in, or has been engaged in the recent weeks and months, in conversations about identity and who we are as a country. The unity of Kenya is not inimical. It doesn't work counter to the interests of the segments that constitute Kenya. But those ideas of the various segments which constitute our party must converge so that we pursue the broader ideas that our party believes in.
With his predecessor being ousted on grounds of disloyalty to the party and not articulating the government agenda, being the principal assistant to the head of state, Kindiki promised to help his boss deliver on the Kenya Kwanza plan and ensure Kenyans from all walks of life get the services they deserve.
I will work with all the organs established under our party constitution for the good and for the better and optimal performance of our party as expected of us by the people of Kenya.
With other political parties kickstarting their registration drive ahead of the 2027 general election, the DP highlighted the need to recruit more members to the party.
We need to register more members, and therefore I'm going to be part of the drive that is ongoing and try to put our minds together with the party officials, the party leader, so that we can increase our numbers, the membership numbers.
His installation as deputy party leader comes after the Senate voted on 17th of October to uphold the National Assembly's decision to oust Gachagua.
Be your notebook for all our meetings.
In Kitani, K24 TV, Nairobi.
All the notes of the party.
Elsewhere, lawyers challenging the controversial acquisition of JKA by India's Adani company were dealt a blow after the court adjourned the case to the 27th of this month. The case filed by the Law Society of Kenya challenging the move to hand over the running of JKA to Adani for 30 years will be had on December. Lawyers representing aviation workers led by Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalwa urged the government to drop the deal, saying Kenya is capable of expanding JKA on its own, as Elected Odera now reports.
Another day in court as lawyers challenging the controversial acquisition of JKA by Indian company Adani brimmed with expectations for their hearing to commence. However, their hopes were dashed after the court postponed the case to 28th of this month as the judge handling the case was unavailable.
As workers, we remain opposed to the intention of giving out JKA to Adani.
The Law Society of Kenya had filed a petition September this year to oppose the lease of JKA to Adani for the next 30 years, arguing that Kenya could raise $1.85 billion to develop the airport, a petition that the court granted. On the other side, JKA employees also want the plan to sell JKA to the company halted for fear of losing their jobs.
We are more than convinced that Kenya Airports Authority is financially able to fund its own expansion and modernization.
Led by their lawyers Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalwa, they urged the government not to hand over the airport to the company, as JKA is capable of running its own operations.
We are dealing with a critical infrastructure which touches on the national security and the well-being of a nation state called Kenya. We have said before we have no problem with the investors coming to the country. But the way this Adani deal has been crafted, it has all the trappings of what one would call a state capture.
We want to tell this Kenya Kwisha government that if actually they are going to give this Adani everything, for Adani to control our airways in terms of taking JKIA International Airport, for Adani to control our energy sector by taking over Ketraco, for Adani to control our healthcare systems. Imagine if what has happened in Bangladesh happens in Kenya. One individual called Adani switches off power. The entire country is in darkness.
In September this year, LSK, together with the Kenya Human Rights Commission, KHRC, went to court to oppose government's move, arguing that Kenya could independently raise the $1.85 billion required to upgrade the airport in the capital of Nairobi. LSK also argues that the move violated good governance and transparency principles for a valuable national asset. The LSK case will be heard on December this year. Electin Order, K24 TV.
The prime suspect in the sodomy case against Bruce Kajira, a Mombasa-based blogger, has been arraigned today at Shanzu Law Courts. Omar Mohamed was arrested at the border point in Lunga Lunga as he was crossing the country from Tanzania on Thursday evening last week. Frederick Kai with the story.
Prime suspect Omar Mohamed has pleaded not guilty on 4 accounts of planning to cause felony, kidnapping, assault and gang rape of Bruce Kajira. Lead prosecutor Nazareth Mazurui asked Resident Magistrate Robert Mbogo not to release the accused on bond, owing to the nature of arrest, having been arrested at the border point of Lunga Lunga between Kenya and Tanzania.
While my senior in his replying affidavit indicates that the said accused person was not fleeing the country but was re-entering the same. The issue is that the fact that the accused person had either sought to exit or enter Tanzania is not disputed. On this, we also base our application on the fact that this has confirmed, that the accused is simply a flight risk.
Mazurui further noted that Omar has been linked to the barbaric incidents of blogger Bruce.
Considering the nature and the offense that the accused is charged with, we find that this might give an incentive, to the accused to abscond the jurisdiction of this court.
Omar's lawyer Chacha Mwita asked the magistrate to release his client on bond or cash bail, since the High Court has already pronounced itself on the case.
Going as per the Peking order, this Honorable Court already has guidance from the High Court specifically to this particular case that touches on Mr. Bruce.
Mwita affirmed that his client was not a flight risk since on his arrest, he was entering the country from Tanzania.
Your Honor, the accused person has also deponed in his reply and affidavit that he left the country for Tanzania on the 9th of October to pursue some business engagements and to also visit some relatives. Your Honor, that was through legal means.
Resident Magistrate Robert Mbogo says he will give his ruling on Friday this week on whether the suspect will be released on bond or otherwise, and also if the case will be consolidated with the previous one. The magistrate ordered the suspect to be removed from Atewa prison. Frederick Kai, K24, Mombasa.
Well, that report by Frederick Kai brings us to a fast break right here on K24 Evening Edition. We'll be back with more in a short while.
I know mkona talents, lakini mkona vibe. It's time to discover East Africa's newest talent. Ni mda wa Kenya kuchachisha. Anguka nayo kati toka, utuonyeshe hizi stunts zako. Africa's biggest talent show, Bongo Star Search, is coming to Kenya. Stand a chance to win amazing prizes and work with the biggest names in entertainment. My judges, wakiongozwa na Rita, Master J, Salama Jabir, and our very own Sanaipe Itande, watakuwa pale tukicheka na tukilia. Tulieni mpangwe wasee. From majenzi hadi wakoro, ma students na corporates, jitokeze tujue nani mzii. Tukutane Kenya National Theatre on Friday 29th and Saturday 30th November. Kosa uchekwe brother. BSS Season 15, sasa beyond borders. Si mchezo. Tune in to ST Swahili Channel 160 or 400 every Sunday at 9 p.m. and on Wednesday for an extra highlights show at 8:30 p.m. Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Kurumisha ndege. Aviator instant game. Be a daring pilot and earn by how much high you can lift the plane. The higher you fly, the higher your win. The sky is the limit. Mozart Bet.
Welcome back. Learning activities at the embattled Moi University in Uasin Gishu did not resume as planned today after the university management failed to reach an agreement with striking workers. On Friday, visiting Parliamentary Committee on Education had instructed the warring parties in the standoff to hold a crisis meeting and reach an agreement in 48 hours. As Timothy Simonal reports, workers' unions remain adamant that they will not back down until their demands are met, while accusing the university management for lack of goodwill.
After over 2 months of striking, Moi University had announced the resumption of learning and other activities today. But that would not be after the management, led by Professor Isaac Kosgei, failed to reach an agreement with workers' unions as advised by the Parliamentary Committee on Education. The committee had given a 48-hour ultimatum for warring parties to agree, but 3 days later, there is no reason to believe an agreement will be reached anytime soon.
The parliamentary session had a totally different agenda. So it is not possible that the parliamentary committee could have ordered us to go to class.
UASU Secretary General Moi University Chapter Dr. Busolo Wekesa claims the management is insincere in their engagement with the workers.
We told them that these colleagues of ours that they required us to talk to are insincere. They are insensitive, and also they are very punitive. And we told them it is not possible to negotiate with somebody who is holding a gun.
Despite the Julius Meli-led committee's directive, the workers regard the management of Moi as a hostile employer, hell-bent on intimidating and frustrating them.
The Parliamentary Committee and the PS for Education had hardly left Moi University when these people started issuing us with memos. We can confirm that as of this morning, we have about 20 memos coming repeatedly. We also have court orders. How do you negotiate with somebody with a court order over your head?
As the impasse persists alongside another national UASU strike that has grounded higher education learning across the country, it's not clear when Moi will resume normalcy amid students' agony.
As of now, we have no agreement, we have no discussion going on, and therefore we are on strike. Please take it from us, there is no teaching that is going on in Moi University.
Timothy Simwa, K24 TV.
The Office of the Auditor General has continued to poke holes in the implementation of the Mombasa-Nairobi pipeline, where the project is confirmed to have accrued additional expenditures of over 2 billion shillings. According to Auditor General Nancy Gathungu, Kenyans have for long been on the losing end when it comes to uptake of government projects, where contractors are awarded hefty penalties in case of legal or technical delays from the government end, whereas the same doesn't happen when contractors delay projects from their end.
On Energy and the Office of the Auditor General, the government auditor continued to poke holes in the implementation of the Mombasa-Nairobi pipeline, pointing out to avoidable expenditures of over Kenya shillings 2 billion.
Through the chair, Mary Wako.
Auditor General Nancy Gathongo indicating that the tendering process did not follow due process, whereas the period of completion was unduly extended from 18 months to 54 months.
The time allocated for submission of bids, which was 3 days, was indicated as insufficient. At the time the contract for the expert scheduler was awarded, the awarded bidder was providing other consultancy services to KPC in respect of the project, which may have amounted to conflict of interest. Under the project structure, the project engineer was not independent of the company, since he was an employee in the position of general manager.
Gathongo further stated that this has been a trend in the implementation of government projects, where the public has been losing billions of shillings due to fines and penalties accrued from delayed implementation of projects.
The clauses are usually against public interest, that the contractors know how to protect themselves. In case of delays, they will put in the interest, they'll put in the penalties. They are able to be compensated through public resources. But we seem to have challenges in protecting ourselves.
The office further proposing a change in law to allow contractors who delay projects to also pay up appropriate fines and penalties.
There must be clauses to protect public funds, and there must be clauses to protect the public entity in terms of an exit clause, where if there is an exit clause, you find that the contractor is the one that is paid. But the contractor never pays the government.
On their side, Kenya Pipeline shifted blame to unending litigations and investigations from the DCIA, pointing these as key reasons for the delayed implementation and completion of government projects.
The contractor was asked to be paid at 13-14% in line with the market rate. So we're only able to be firm and stick to the contractual interest of 0.5% per month, which is 6%. And that is what the Attorney General guided to be paid.
There was a number of variations, yes, as mentioned. Did they affect the timelines? Yes, they did. Because part of these variations resulted in additional work, and the same conditions of contract allows extra time to be given for completion of this work.
Samba Tarumangi, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Now, despite efforts he made in silencing the guns in the vast North Rift region, the use of excessive force by police and arbitrary arrests has been termed as the issues tainting DP Kithure Kindiki's tenure as Interior CS. As ENK Time now files, President William Ruto faces an uphill task in nominating Kindiki's successor, and as to whether loyalty and regional balance will play part in his next Interior boss pick.
I, Kithure Kindiki.
After taking oath of office as the country's third DP under the 2010 Constitution, his shoes in the Interior docket were temporarily filled by Prime CS Musalia Mudavadi, as intense lobbying continues over who will be appointed next Interior Chief. However, even as President Ruto lines up a new Interior CS, Kindiki's tenure, though marked by victories in the fight against banditry, has been tainted by cases of arbitrary arrests, according to governance expert Dr. Isaac Hassan.
His record was not perfect. I mean, you remember quite a number of issues raised during Gen Z's demos, where Professor Bing having National Police in his docket, where there was a lot of force used by the police. There was a bit of torture and a bit of kidnapping, and of course quite a number of arrests and lawful arrests that were conducted by the police.
According to Dr. Hassan, President William Ruto is likely to consider loyalty and regional balance in his next pick for Interior CS.
The president will look at who is very loyal and able to pick up his agendas within the security sector, where no secret will be held. The Interior Ministry, being very sensitive and being a docket that is very crucial in governance, then he will look at someone who at least has knowledge on how to manage Interior Ministry.
Among those named as possible successors include Kimani Ichung'wah, Aden Duale, Kato Ole Metito, Junet Mohamed, among others. With President William Ruto somewhat facing a dilemma on who to pick as the new Interior CS, Kimani Ichung'wah remains one of the likely frontrunners as the head of state seeks to solidify his support in the Mount Kenya region. Dr. Hassan, however, notes that despite there not being an IEBC in place Picking Ichung'wa would most likely not be a route President William Ruto would take. His sentiments align with those of Kibra MP Honorable Peter Orero.
I would not think that he would pick somebody who will bring about by-election, especially in central Kenya. As things stand now, it will be political naivety to pick a representative where by-election will be called at the moment.
As to whether Environment CS Aden Duale will be considered for that post, Hassan argues that with the NIS and DCI bosses all from the same ethnic composition as Duale, that could jeopardize his chances.
We have the Director General Investigation Department, DCI, as a person from Northern Region. We have Nuruddin, who is from Northern Region, who is the Director General for National Intelligence Service. So that means then there will be a lot of talks and speculations in the corridors of politics.
Whether or not Duale is picked as the new interior boss, Dr. Hassan believes there's a looming cabinet mini reshuffle.
If you must pick someone whom he is not appointing direct into that docket, we are likely to face a mini reshuffle in the cabinet.
As eyes now turn on Ruto's political allies and who will be considered, Dr. Hassan has deemed Interior PS Raymond Omolo as a man fit for the job.
He could be the best choice for that particular docket, simply because he is the PS for Interior, and probably now he has understood what he needs to do and what he's expected to do in that particular docket.
As intense lobbying continues, Prime CS Musalia Mudavadi, who is currently doubling up as the acting Interior CS, today paid a courtesy call to the Interior PS, where they deliberated on key issues within the docket. Also thrown into the matrix is State House Comptroller Kato Ole Metito, a seasoned politician whom insiders say is likely to be considered. His appointment is likely to be hindered by the presence of Soipan Tuya in the defense docket, according to Dr. Hassan.
Kato, he comes from the Maland, and we already have a CS from Ma. Therefore, as much as he comes from another county, he may have a bit of critics if he's given the position.
The ODM factor might as well come into play, with Junet Mohammed said to be the man ODM could front, especially following the formation of the broad-based government. Eyes now turn to President William Ruto and how he will play his cards with the 2027 general election coming into play. Ian Kitani, K24 TV, Nairobi.
1 out of 3 people are diagnosed with diabetes in the country every year, according to the World Health Organization, with experts saying that men are more at risk compared to women. And as the World Diabetes Day draws closer, Kenyans have been urged to have regular checkups to know whether they are at risk. Robbie Mondi with the details in today's Health Beat.
One in 3 persons who visit a health facility are found to have diabetes or are at risk of getting type 1 or type 2 diabetes.
Over time, this person might have a deficiency in insulin because the pancreas, with time, because of the high resistance that has been there over time, or the poor management of diabetes and high blood sugar, the pancreas can get exhausted and the cells end up not producing as much as required insulin. And so
Statistics from the Ministry of Health and the World Health Organization indicate that the effects of diabetes are related to lifestyle, which contributes to the rise of sugar levels in the body.
Genetic causes, lifestyle causes in terms of the high sedentary lifestyle, smoking and all this, high alcohol intake and all this, the risk factors that lead to it. The other type of diabetes is what we call gestational diabetes, and this occurs during pregnancy, and after pregnancy the sugar level normalizes. However, these patients have high chances, very high chances of developing type 2 diabetes.
We meet David Ochieng attending his monthly clinic here at Lions Hospital. What started as pain on his leg led to him being diagnosed with diabetes.
Mguu ilikuwa inaniuma sana. Nikaenda kwa the nearest medical center. Wakanipima lakini hao hawakuwa wanajua ni nini. So nikakaa kitu kama 1 week. Bado siponi na mguu inaniuma sana. So nikakuja hapa Lions, wakanipima vizuri, wakasema uko na diabetes.
After various treatments and several tests, his leg had to be amputated before continuing with diabetes treatment.
After 2 days, maumivu ikazidi kabisa. Tena nikarudi. Sasa wakasema the only thing ni kuwa amputated. And that they admitted me, nikakaa up about 2 weeks, ndio wakanipeleka for amputation. Then from there, hakuna maumivu yoyote nilisikia.
He tells us that his health has since improved, although he has to change his lifestyle, including parting ways with alcohol consumption and smoking, which he says contributed to his declined health.
Nyama ya ng'ombe sasa, hiyo ni X. Vitu kama soda, hiyo ni X. Vitu kama pombe, sigara, hizo zote pia ni X. Nilikuwa nakunywa pombe, nilikuwa navuta sigara. Sasa hizo niliacha.
Dr. Rilwan narrates to us the effects of diabetes and the importance of living a healthy life by embracing good nutrition.
You have to manage your your lifestyle to be a healthy one. When it comes to your nutrition, you have to have healthy eating, increase your physical activity, you have to be physically active, stress management, and smoking. You have to stop smoking if you're smoking, and the alcohol intake has to be in moderation. So when we talk about the complications as a result of the small vessels, we have the kidney damage, we have the eye damage, and nerve damage. So nerve damage essentially leading to a lot of foot complications. There are other nerves in other parts of the body as well, which can get damaged and give us other symptoms like in the stomach, in the heart, and all that. But prevalence of the diabetes foot, which leads to amputation, is also quite high.
Approximately 460 Kenyans out of 10,000 are diagnosed with diabetes every year. Experts say with early detection and diagnosis, it is possible to treat and manage diabetes among Kenyans. Robbie Omondi, K24, Nairobi.
Well, we take another break right here on K24 Evening Edition. We still have more lined up for you. Stay tuned.
Have you watched K24? We would love to hear from you. Send us your feedback on what you like and what you don't like and why. You can use any platform to reach us. We can be reached on Facebook, Twitter, and WhatsApp.
Back to the future. The future is simulate. Bet smarter. Win faster now. Be a winner. Mozart Bet.
Welcome back. A political battle is simmering in Jubaland, Somalia, as they prepare for the elections. This is after presidential candidate Abdullahi Ali rejected Saturday night announcement by President Ahmed Madobe to establish an electoral commission in Jubaland. This comes hours after Somalia's federal government condemned the appointment of the regional election committee by the Jubaland leader.
The committee that has been selected, we don't believe the former president have a mandate to constitute an electoral commission without the approval and the consultation of the opposition. On the other hand, we also understand that he has been in disagreement with the federal government on the one person, one vote process. That negotiation, I believe, is stalled at this point. But understanding that he has been asking that the local regional states and the people of Jubaland independently run their affairs. It seems that what he was referring to was him, the former president, alone being the people of Jubaland that he's referring to. He does not respect, he does not believe the voices of those who disagree with him matters.
Well, let's now have a look at some business news. Fresh from expanding its network in Nyahururu last week, NCBA Bank has announced the official opening of a new branch in Kitui County. This speaks to the bank's reinforcement to its commitment in fostering economic growth and supporting the financial needs of local communities across Kenya. NCBA's presence in Kitui County seeks to empower the local economy with accessible and affordable financial products that meet the diverse needs of the community. The new branch introduces specialized financial solutions such as construction loans and asset financing for essential like hardware and school buses, directly supporting Kitui's economic growth and infrastructure development.
Most banks are still asking you for documentation. Gari yako itakuwa imeanza kazi tayari. So that, for example, is one of the ways that we make sure that we are different. For SMEs, we believe that everybody has an aspiration to grow his business, and so we've got a full program of financing SMEs, whether they are importing or exporting, whether they want to manufacture, grow their business, their working capital. Our purpose is to help you grow. Banking is one of those businesses that only succeeds if their customer first succeeds. And so we're very clear that the only way we can succeed is by supporting our customers to grow through SMEs.
To date, we are proud to serve 668 customers, all of whom have shown keen interest in our asset finance, construction loans, fixed deposits, money market accounts, and trade finance products. Our presence has been met with enthusiasm and optimism, and the Kitui community is receptive to our commitment to providing tailored financial solutions that meet their unique needs.
The inauguration of this branch highlights the crucial role played by the banking sector in the development of our counties. Some of these vital duties include, but are not limited to, the following. A. Financial intermediation. Banks mobilize savings from individuals and businesses, providing funds for investments in various sectors, which stimulates economic growth. B. Credit provision. By offering loans and credit facilities, banks such as NCBA enable local entrepreneurs and businesses to expand operations, invest in infrastructure, and create jobs. To open the NCBA Bank branch in Kitui. Thank you.
A financial platform that allows SMEs to formalize their businesses is now operational in Kenya, offering simplified financial management processes. Dubbed BizYN, the financial management software offers a comprehensive suite of tools and features to simplify financial management processes, including bookkeeping, inventory management, invoicing, expense tracking, and financial reporting. Tonight, we speak to the director, Jason Ketman, who, among others, tells us that 97% of small businesses in Africa cannot access credit due to poor record keeping, as banks do not take them seriously.
A comprehensive, I think I could call it an ERP, where it handles all of the needs of a small business. Typically, these would be financial platforms, right? So how do you get access to a balance sheet or a cash flow statement or anything like that? And so it's a full financial platform that, again, has many tools that businesses can use, such as inventory management, point of sale, all of the needs of a small business to be able to keep track of it and manage it. It's not debits and credits, it's income and expenses. And if you're curious why you would put income and expenses into a platform, every single page in Bizn has a question mark that you can hover over. They call it page hints. And these page hints explain to you exactly what the function of the page is, why you would use it, and then helps you understand, okay, and this will help you put outputs such as your